Hey YouTubers, welcome back to the channel. So today we're going to be scanning the BMW 118i E87, and to do that we're going to use the Vidant iSmart 600 Max scanner that I got from AZ Scanners. You'll find the link down below in the description. This is a very powerful scanner. It scans all different vehicle types. You'll see in some of my videos that you can scan the DTCs, you can do some of the maintenance functions, and you can read some of the live data from the sensors on the vehicle. So that really helps you if you're trying to do some of the diagnosis of any faults that you have, or you're interested in just seeing if there's any faults sitting there in the background that you haven't noticed yet. Okay, so let's get on with the scan. Okay, so let's get into it. So the first thing we do is pick the diagnostic mode. So there we'll be able to choose the vehicle. So if we type in BMW, we should be able to bring that up. And from there, it'll load up all the different vehicles. We'll go for manual selection, 1 Series E87. And then down here, as far as I'm aware, I've got the N46SH. So we'll go with that one. European right-hand drive. And it's a 2009, so the latest one here is 2006. Okay, let's get scanning. So it's going to establish the vehicle comms using the VCI, which is already plugged into the car, and that's a Bluetooth connection, so it's already showing up here that it's connected. So I've got connected Wi-Fi and connected Bluetooth over here. It's just going to load up the data, and in a second it should start scanning through. Just see how we go. Okay, so the next step is to choose auto scan, or we can go directly into the control units or a service. So if we do the auto scan first, this will now start scanning. It's going to look through all the different systems, and it's already found one fault on the engine ECU. I've got a battery charger on the car just to make sure that the battery stays high, and the ignition just is on at the moment. Hopefully it doesn't drop off. Just show that, hopefully it doesn't drop off on a timeout. So that helps with the comms because it means all of the modules are awake and will talk on the CAN bus. So this is scanning through, it's done about 30%. We'll just leave that through and see how we go. Okay, just coming up to the end now, so we're at 97%, and there we go through to 100%. And then all the faults will jump up to the top so that we can see what we've got there. So we've got 3 faults showing. One on the engine control module, one on the footwell module, and one on the roof control module. Okay, so if we just jump into the first of those, the engine ECU, just clicking on that fault button, we should be able to read the codes. And there's that 2A47 code, which is the oxygen sensor. So I can look that up a bit later and maybe do a bit of searching for that, but it's not a present code. So I can clear that code by erasing, and then see if that code comes back the next time I scan. Okay, so now the engine ECU fault's gone away, we'll just look at the footwell fault. Just clicking on that. Can read those codes. So 1 is a not present fault, which is the dipped beam, and 2 present faults, which is the side marker light right hand side and side marker light left hand side. Now those are probably because I think I've got LED bulbs in there, and the ECU is looking for a normal globe, a normal filament globe, so those faults, I'm not too worried about those. So I can just clear those. And again, they should just disappear off the list until the next time the car does that scan. So it can take sometimes just a little time to clear the code, but it should pop back to the menu. Okay, so now looking at the third fault we've got, and we can now read the codes in that one. And we've got a FZD fogging sensor. Not sure what that is, I'll look that up later. So that's an A670 fault, but again, it's not present now. So that happened sometimes during the run of the car, and it's not present now. So we'll just clear that one. And now we should have no faults. Okay, so that's how you clear the DTCs in a static state. What I might do is I might do another scan and see if we've got any of those faults come back. So this time I'm going to run through a scan just with the engine running. So the difference is here that not only are all the modules running, but all the sensors are live and they're getting all of the sensor data. So the temperature and the exhaust oxygen level. So it'll be interesting to see if we get any faults this time, or if we have cleared those faults and they're just going to come back when the car's running at some random time. Okay, so we're over 98% now, we're coming up to 98%. Scanned through all those modules and it hasn't found any faults, which is good news. So that means no live faults at the moment, but we will look into why some of those faults were there. It had been a couple of weeks since I'd scanned the vehicle, so I'm not sure why those faults were showing, but they weren't, so that's good. So we've got no faults now, so we'll jump back in and look at some of the other menu functions. Okay, so we'll just look at one of the functions that you can do here through the maintenance. So on the BMW, you might want to reset the oil, and I'll be changing the oil soon and want to do the oil reset light. So here sometimes it's electronic and sometimes it's manual. So here's some instructions about how you have to reset the light after you've changed something like the oil. So if I click on BMW maintenance reset, I've got the option of software, manual or help. But if I click on manual, what's quite cool is I can select my model, which is 2008, 2012, and here are the instructions of how I should reset the oil light. So I'll do that just now. It's a bit fiddly, so I'll do it off camera, and I can get the instrument cluster reset so that it says that the oil service is ready for the next round. Okay, so I'll just jump back from that for the moment. There's quite a few other functions in here for servicing, so you can do things like injector coding, you can do steering angle reset on this car, TPMS if your car's got it, so window function, so window setting. So it depends on the car and the car model as to whether you use those maintenance items. And then there's quite a few other items in here. There's things like the VCI management for how it connects to the car, and then also the VBOD, which is the pinouts for the OBD port. Remote controls if you want to get some service support, data managements for the data. There's a couple of other tools in the back there, and then some programming for the mobilizer. So I hope that was helpful, and can see we've got a few problems on the BMW to chase down, but I'll put those into another video if I do try and sort them, and we'll see you in the next video. Thank you.